I feel like every day I'm waking up, just waiting for Nintendo to announce the Switch 2, or at least announce when they're going to show it off. You know, like, I'm not waiting with bated breath, but like, it definitely seems like they're very close to being ready to show it off. You know, it could be that they're not going to show it off till next year, but definitely feels like they're going to show it soon. So waking up this morning to see that they announced an alarm clock was definitely interesting. Not what I expected that they were going to show off. This actually isn't the most surprising thing. I think there was a report a few weeks ago that Nintendo filed a patent of something round with like a little screen on it. I don't really feel like looking it up right now because it's a little late in the day and I just got back from a run, but so, you know, it didn't really come out of nowhere, but it kind of did. They kind of just uploaded a trailer on YouTube and were like, hey, here's an alarm clock. And it definitely has that, like, Nintendo quirkiness to it, you know? Like, so it wakes you up with music from your favorite Nintendo games. It starts off with 5, Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, Splatoon, Ring Fit Adventure, and Pikmin 4. And it uses this like motion detector to detect your body and see if you're moving around. And if you're moving around, then it plays little sound effects from the games. Like if you have the Mario Odyssey theme picked, it'll play little coin effects. So I guess you moving around are the coins, and it detects if you're sitting up, and if you do, it plays like a little sound effect to kind of reward you for sitting up. And then when you get out of bed, it plays like a fanfare, when I think is the word they used. So the Mario Odyssey thing played like a moon getting sound or something like that. And then the alarm turns off. And the concept is pretty novel, you know? It's an alarm, you don't even have to touch it. It just goes off and it plays some easy music to get you out of bed. And it kind of rewards you for getting up. If you take too long to get up, it starts to get more intense. The example they showed is that Bowser comes in, tries to wake you up, starts playing his theme, so it starts to get a little mad at you if you don't get up, which is cute. I'm sure the first thing everyone thought was the Breath of the Wild theme playing the Guardian music if you take too long to get out of bed, which is absolutely terrifying to think about. But yeah, it's cute. It's Nintendo kind of likes to do these things every once in a while where they just make some weird random product. You know, as I'm sure a lot of people know, they were a toy company originally, so they have just a lot of fun ideas. If someone comes to them with something like this, they're like, hey, we should make a little fun alarm clock, and put together a good enough pitch that people at Nintendo are probably going to be like, sure, what the hell, let's release it. So I guess this is the next one. It has internet connection as well, so you can kind of get more games down the line. They've announced that Mario Kart 8 and Animal Crossing are going to get themes in the future, and all the games have multiple scenes you can pick, so it plays different music and sound effects, and it's a fully featured alarm clock. It's pretty neat, and it definitely I see the vision they're going for. You know, it's to get you to actually get up out of your bed when your alarm goes off in the morning, because I am that kind of person where I wake up either on my own or to an alarm, and I kind of just sit in bed for like 30-40 minutes, sometimes on my phone. I've been trying to not pull up my phone right away quite as often, since I know it's pretty terrible for your eyes, and I do a lot of work on my computer. But you know, like, I like the idea that it's encouraging you to actually get up by using your favorite Nintendo sounds and music, and trying to ease you into the day by slowly making the music better. Like, I totally get it. And honestly, like, if anyone's the target audience, it's honestly me. You know, big Nintendo fan, I'd have a little bit of trouble getting out of bed, so, you know, pop this on my nightstand and just let it wake me up. It's kind of a fun idea. It's definitely not like a big wide appeal, which is probably why they're releasing it the way they are, where you can either order it online if you're a Switch Online member, or you can go pick it up at the Nintendo store. So you know, obviously, it's an untested area for them, so they're not going to make like a big wide product, but enough people would probably be interested. I think as a kid, this would definitely be really fun to have. I undoubtedly would have wanted this when I was much younger. And I still think it's pretty cool. Except that it's $100. So, when I was watching the trailer first thing this morning, which was 11 a.m. for me, might be able to see why I need this alarm clock. I was thinking, you know what? This is a fun little device. It's Nintendo. They've got pricey things. This thing's probably going to be around 40 or 50 bucks, you know? Which is still pretty expensive. I feel like maybe I'd be willing to pay 20 or 30 bucks for this. A standard alarm clock could probably run you a couple dollars. Probably just find one at a used store. I mean, most people use their phones as alarms these days anyways. So the fact that Nintendo's releasing an alarm clock in 2024 at all is pretty bold, considering we all have one built in to our phones. But when I saw it was $100, I was like, oh gosh. Yeah, no, that is a lot for an alarm clock. And I don't know. I don't know if it's worth that. I get why it's so expensive. It has the big, like, motion tracking to track your whole body, so that's probably increasing the price a bit. And it has other things going on underneath. It's tracking your sleep patterns, and it has hourly chimes, which I guess that's not really a technologically advanced feature, but, like, it has a lot of features in it, but it's probably that motion tracking stuff that really is driving the price up. But I'm sure the build quality is probably really good. Nintendo really likes to make high quality products, even for these small one-off things. Like, it's not going to be some cheap alarm clock. But $100 is a lot to ask. So, I don't know. I'm kind of curious how this is going to sell. I kind of feel like most people are just going to look at the trailer and be like, that's kind of fun, and just move on. And then some people who just really like these fun little things will probably go pick it up if they have the spare cash too. But I feel like just most people are probably going to pass on it. I feel like this is one of those products that maybe they'll introduce, support it for a few years with a couple more games, maybe some games from the Switch successor, and then just kind of quietly stop supporting it. I almost kind of feel like the last time they did something like this was Labo, where they introduced that, made a couple different Labo kits, and then a few years later they were just like, okay, we're done with Labo. And it didn't really make a huge splash because it's not a giant audience. But, you know, I could see this being one of those things that, like, they stop supporting it after a few years, and then down the line, like 10 years from now, they're just worth, like, a ton of money because not a lot of people bought them. That said, if they're kind of showing up in the Nintendo New York store, a lot of tourists like to pass through there and just pick up random things. When I went to New York earlier this year, I spent hundreds of dollars on random things there just because I was in the store. Like, I didn't actually need any of the stuff that I bought, but, you know, it's a cute novelty, so I could see some people picking it up just for that reason. But, yeah, it's definitely a fun little device that they're releasing. And you know what? I might not be giving it enough credit. This is the kind of thing that they honestly could just kind of passively release over time. And maybe even iterate on, like make newer versions and just kind of every once in a while announce some new games for it. Like, it's got to be so easy to set up, and there's tons of games you can pull stuff from, some Forgotten Land stuff. I don't know, Fire Emblem. What else does Nintendo have? Donkey Kong. Like, they could just kind of throw, like, in new games coming out, hey, Alarmo's getting a new game. So, I don't know. But I definitely kind of see this as a fun little experiment kind of thing that isn't going to last for that long. And is really just for collectors or kids or whatever. So, yeah. $100 is a lot, though. I'm totally going to buy this thing.